I have been contacted by many members of the community deeply concerned about the events of Wednesday evening at Meow Wolf, when a Jewish performer was boycotted by anti-Israeli protesters, both employees and those outside. And so I have submitted the following words to the Santa Fe New Mexican as my view, and I'm going to share it in full with you as my pre-Shabbat message. It's called Facing Intolerance in Our City. Since December, I have been sharing a presentation on the Israel-Hamas war with faith communities in Santa Fe, a presentation that is critical of leadership on both sides, that is pro-peace by being both pro-Israeli and pro-Palestinian. If you would like me to share it with your community or organization, please reach out to Temple Beth Shalom. The more I share the presentation, the more I encounter a very small but disturbingly vocal number of Santa Feans who have taken to emailing venues in advance to try to get my presentation cancelled. To such people, truth and peacemaking is not important anymore, only cancelling any opinion that is divergent of their own. I now personally face the absurd accusations of being not only Islamophobic and a genocide denier, but of even being pro-genocide. Almost totally from people who've never even heard my presentation. I used to think that cancel culture didn't really exist until they aimed it at me, a liberal Jew who dares to express anything informed, complex, and nuanced, instead of inaccurate, ignorant, and oversimplistic soundbites. And now those who mistakenly imagine that these perverse accusations are moral have now gone further by forcing the cancellation of a Jewish performer visiting our city, while using exactly the same lies and slurs about him as they do about me, merely because of his support for one side in a war against a vicious terrorist organization that would gladly kill every single one of the people who cancelled him if they had the opportunity. To the minority on the far left, who have now gone full circle and inadvertently met up with the far right's intolerance of divergent opinions, especially Jewish ones that don't fit their narrative, I have some advice. If you don't like somebody's politics or religion, don't give them your money. It's that simple. But if you try to stop others from doing so, they will resent not just you, but also your cause. The online anger outside your bubble for what you did at Meow Wolf was palpable. You did nothing to bring peace to the world. You just boycotted a Jew for his beliefs, ruined the evening of 400 people, and tarnished the reputation of Meow Wolf. To the decent people of Santa Fe who still value dialogue and diversity, I believe that we need to work together to combat the effects of the intolerance of these disproportionately loud and deliberately divisive individuals in our community. As Karl Popper famously wrote, for a tolerant society to exist, we need to be intolerant of the intolerant. After this successful boycott, one person wrote online that they were ashamed of Santa Fe. Don't be. Fight for Santa Fe. Work with the city, with educational establishments, with businesses, with faith communities, and with organizations to ensure that they are prepared for the inevitable future boycotts and disruptions by those who seek to silence diversity. Openly and loudly support those individuals, organizations, and communities who work for peace, not by drowning out difference, but by celebrating it. Ensure that local discourse in print and online focuses on those who represent the majority who get on quietly with the difficult work of making peace, instead of those who just shout the loudest. Help those who know little about the subject not learn from angry soundbites, but from informed, rational discourse backed up by facts. Elevate the communities and organizations that value nuance and balance, and who seek a just and mutual peace. Together, in response to this intolerance, we must create a more tolerant and diverse Santa Fe. I encourage you to join us this evening for our Kabbalat Shabbat service, where I will be talking about what it means to take a moral position on things, as some people have been asking me to do, and as I believe I did just there. If you need support in this, if you're troubled by what's going on, please don't hesitate to reach out. I encourage you to join us this evening. Tomorrow morning, our Torah study is a challenging one. The building of the tabernacle in the Torah portion of Terumah, the instructions for the tabernacle. Is it really just a list of essentially IKEA instructions? Or does it actually allude to something far deeper, far more mystical? We'll be exploring the latter possibility. And then we have our Shabbat Shacharit service afterwards. And then tomorrow evening, we have Aviva Sussman coming to our community to talk about Aviva's experience of Israel over the last 120 days, what it's like being there. This is a cross-communal event, a JCRC event, that's the Jewish Community Relations Council of New Mexico event. So it's cross-communal, so we encourage you to join us for that. It's Havdalah, then the presentation and questions. And it's worth you knowing that the presentation that I referred to at the beginning of that piece is also coming to Temple Beth Shalom at the very beginning of March. And I'll be doing it differently to in other communities. I'll be sharing the presentation, which constantly develops and grows as I get feedback from differing individuals. I'll be sharing that presentation, I'll be taking questions, and then we'll be having a facilitated group discussion. And that's really important because we want people to hear, to think, and to discuss, members of our community to be able to talk about Israel amongst ourselves. So that's coming up at the very beginning of March as well. So the final thing to add, Cantaliana is not able to be here this weekend, but we have a special guest who's going to be helping me lead services this evening. And so I hope that you'll join us, especially for that, and for all the things that we have this weekend, this Shabbat. Together, we need to create a more tolerant Santa Fe. We need to celebrate our Jewish identity. We need to celebrate who we are, to not be cowed away, to not be shut out by those who seek to drown us out. We are an extraordinary community of people who want peace and who want to do the difficult work of making peace instead of just shouting and stopping others from expressing their opinions. I'm very proud of our community. I'm very proud of what we stand for. I'm very proud of how we've responded to this difficult war that's been going on for so long. And I hope that you will join us tomorrow evening and at the beginning of March as we continue the conversation. I wish you Shabbat Shalom.